Alright, hello. Welcome to Reflect and Connect number 4. So, for this chapter, we talk about just, I guess, the primary goals of performance when it comes to your students and the ensembles that you teach. And the main priority should be a quality performance and sound. And one of the main things we really go in the chapter is just over programming and what it is. So basically, it's repertoire that is completely like surpasses the technique and musical capabilities of your students. That's from our good friend and book over here. But yeah, they just they give us different methods of how to I guess find certain ways of how to avoid this. So we're given basically 3 levels. So one of the pieces that you should give your students should be easy to like reach, and it should be, I guess, quick to learn for your students and have it at performance level in a short amount of time. The second one should be kind of like immediate, like in a medium level where your students, it's attainable, but it takes more than one. It takes multiple rehearsals in a way. But then the third one should be something that is kind of pushing your students. So it's basically the piece that you're going to be mainly focusing on your group with. But yeah, it should stretch out the abilities of your group. So another interesting thing that I didn't really think of when it came to selecting music for your students is just, I never knew that there was such a thing as a full orchestra for elementary level. So yeah, they just give us basically common keys for a elementary full orchestra, which is F, C, and B flat. And then for just the string orchestra section, D, A to G. So that was pretty interesting for me. Going back to the 3 level keys, I remember, especially in your class, Dr. Webb, last year when we discussed about, I guess, like that diagram you had. So it, like reading this chapter, I was like, oh my god, we went over this last year about different levels. So easy, intermediate, then advanced, and then impossible, I believe. So yeah, I should know because I did a presentation on it. But yeah, and then they just gave us different, I guess, ideas for woodwinds and brass, and about like the challenges there when it comes to full orchestra. So yeah, that was a lot of information. But again, we also went over method books, which I never really thought about, but they gave us a list. I love this book. They gave us a list of certain method books that are approved, and I was like, I'm surprised that I didn't see Suzuki in it, but in that list, I believe, because I looked, but I saw Essential Element, and that's the only book that I know of, because it's really good. But I am very appreciative that they have publishers and different books. And yeah, they just gave those different things that we should look for in when choosing method books. So basically, approach, assignment, contact, structure, appearance, and supplement. And then they gave this basically something I didn't know of, but it was string levels. Well, not, but grade levels, and it was a lot. Like I really enjoyed this part of the chapter because I started in high school, so I was looking through these pieces and I noticed that I did most of them, and yeah, it's a good way to like help me in choosing certain pieces for beginners. And then it tells you what those levels basically teach. So it's like it has time, rhythm, range, accidentals, and dynamics, which was so cool. But yeah, Reflect and Connect. Cool.